evening, everyone. Welcome to a brand new year and a brand new Sunday. I'm Claire Dilabu Abdurrazak, and the pleasure is mine to be with you again under the fourth moonlight of 2026. Now, history and human experience have taught us that as individuals and as a nation, we carry what is while reaching for what can be. And of course, it is in that delicate space in between that our stories tonight live. Stories of resilience and resolve. Stories of hope tested and renewal earned. So on this very first Sunday of 2026, we journey through moments that shaped the arrival of the year. Quieter reflections, you may say, that are replacing very familiar rituals. We have extraordinary conscience asserting itself in an unexpected corner of Niger State. Welcome aboard Newsline Airways, flight 900 hours, departing from our network terminal here in Abuja. We'll make a brief stopover in the newsroom before cruising into Newsline proper. Ladies and gentlemen, the engines are humming, and please fasten your seatbelts. Ensure that your trays are upright because we're cleared for takeoff. Let's begin. And here is the news. More details have emerged on the recent attack by suspected terrorists in Borog local government area of Niger State, which left more than 30 persons dead and many abducted, including women and children. Correspondent Kabir Abdullahi tells us more.
According to Usman Issa, a resident of the community, stated that terrorist activities have reportedly persisted in parts of Kasuwan Daji and its environs over the past 2 days, with the situation escalating on Saturday. He stated that at about 4:30 p.m. on Saturday, suspected terrorists believed to have emerged from the National Park Forest along Kabe District and attacked Kasuwan Daji Market, located at Demo Village. During the attack, the assailants set the market ablaze after looting several shops and cutting away food items and other valuables. Meanwhile, on the morning of January 4, 2026, at about 8 a.m., a joint security team visited the scene for an on-the-spot assessment. Findings from the visit confirmed that 30 people lost their lives during the attack, while several others were abducted and taken to an unknown destination.
Joint security effort, not particularly the police, the military, the police, including the state government, local security outreach, they are doing everything possible. And as I mentioned, a lot of operational measures is in the pipeline to ensure that this situation does not occur again. Unfortunately, it happens like this, but a lot of effort is in top gear to ensure that we clear these elements in our forest.
In Abuja, Kabir Abdullahi, NTA News.
And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, Service Chiefs, Inspector General of Police, and the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, to track down and apprehend the perpetrators of the Kasuwan Daji attack, ensuring they are swiftly brought to justice, as well as rescuing all the abducted victims urgently. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, says the President issued the directives on Sunday in response to the recent killings of villagers in Niger State by terrorists suspected to be fleeing from Sokoto and Zamfara following the United States airstrike on Christmas Eve. While condemning the attack on the Kasuwan Daji community and the abduction of women and children, the President sent his heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims, the people and government of Niger State, as well as to the country. President Tinubu assured the people of Niger State that security agencies have been mandated to intensify operations around vulnerable communities, particularly those near the forest that have served as hideouts for criminal elements. He urged Nigerians to remain united and resolved and resolute in the face of this tragedy and cautioned against divisive rhetoric that could undermine national security and cohesion during this challenging period. In a statement, meanwhile, Niger State Governor Mohammed Umar Bago has expressed sadness over the terrorist attacks on communities in the Borogo local government area of the state. The statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Bologi Ibrahim, described the terrorist attacks that led to the death of many people, kidnapping of several others, and the destruction of livelihoods as cruel and nefarious. The governor extends his deepest sympathy to the people of the affected communities, especially the victims and their families. The victims of the attack at the Katswandachi Market, Sukumbara village are drawn from different religious backgrounds and communities in Brogo local government area of the state. The governor notes that it is disturbing and worrisome to start the year with such unfortunate incidents. However, he urged the people to remain resolute in God and that his administration is collaborating with the federal government and security agencies to improve the security in the state. He also adds that joint security team is trailing the terrorists with the view to rescuing the kidnapped victims. And troops of 12th Brigade Nigerian Army have recorded another operational success following coordinated patrols and ambush conducted in Kababunu and Yagba West local government areas of Kogi State. In a statement by the Acting Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, 12th Brigade Nigerian Army, Lieutenant Hassan Abdullahi, the troops acting on credible intelligence on the movement of bandits from Adankolo area towards Agbadubunu in Kababunu local government area, swiftly deployed and laid ambush at the identified crossing point of the terrorists, eliminating 2 bandits and recovering 1 AK-47 rifle. Meanwhile, further intelligence revealed another movement of bandits around Saminaka village in Yagba West local government area, where a suspected bandit logistics supplier identified as Sunday Adedotun was arrested from Odoeri village in Yagba West local government area. Commander, 12th Brigade Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Kashim Umar Sidi, commends the troops for their professionalism, courage, and timely response to credible intelligence, noting that their actions reflect the high level of commitment to duty. At least 25 people have been confirmed dead and 13 others rescued alive following a tragic canoe accident involving travelers from Jigawa State en route Yobe by river. The incident occurred at about 7:48 p.m. on Saturday, January the 3rd, when a canoe conveying 52 passengers capsized while traveling from a town in Guri local government area of Jigawa State to Gabi town in Nguru local government area of Yobe. Now, the victims were reportedly returning from Adioni town, where they were engaged in fishing, farming, and other local business activities when the canoe overturned mid-journey. State Emergency Rescue Agencies say 13 passengers have been rescued, while 14 others remain missing. Search and rescue operations are ongoing, with security agencies, emergency responders, and local community volunteers working tirelessly to locate the missing passengers and recover their bodies. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says Nigeria must continue to support everyone to live full, independent lives by creating an inclusive environment while also strengthening policies and partnerships that empower every citizen to participate confidently in nation building. This is contained in her message marking 2026 World Braille Day, celebrating Braille as an important tool of inclusion, dignity, and independence for the blind and visually impaired persons. The First Lady says Braille, when integrated with technology, guarantees equal access to information, education, and opportunities, bridging digital gaps and ensuring accessibility in a world that is becoming increasingly digital. Now, the people of Okwara State joined the call to sustain the renewed hope agenda initiative of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu beyond 2007. Now, this was at a mobilization rally organized by a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, Dr. Oluwatoyin Alabi, held in Abuja, Ifelodun local government area of Kwara State. We now bring you that report.
Community-based associations, trade unions, religious and political groups converged on Abuja to identify with successes so far recorded by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Although they came from different communities across Kwara South, Senatorial District and beyond, these people agreed with the organizer that the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has put the country back on the track of development. Dr. Oluwatoyin Alabi, a hospitality business guru and staunch supporter of President Tinubu, believes the transformation policies and programs of the APC-led government deserve everyone's support to succeed, hence the mobilization rally.
The main target is to get Kwara State, the whole state, behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I am coming out to support him and to carry out the Renew Hope agenda at the state level. We are working in tandem with the federal government on this, and I believe the whole agenda, by the time it is completely implemented, we change the narrative for every state, for every local government, for every community.
Coordinators for the 7 local government councils in Kwara South were inaugurated with a mandate to take the renewed hope message to all the nooks and crannies of Kwara State. To the newly inaugurated coordinators and representatives of other interest groups, the president's achievement in education, social security, and other sectors of the economy are enough to give his administration every support.
Look at how much we are buying fuel now. There is reduction in the fuel, there is reduction in the food.
He has done a lot of things for us in the country, therefore want him to continue the legacy.
The convener, Dr. Oluwatoyin Alabi, a governorship aspirant, and his entourage had earlier visited the palace of Elese of Igbaja, where the royal father prayed for the actualization of his political ambition and for peace and development of Nigeria. Mutiat Olushola, NTA News.
All right, and let's move on to sports now. And the ongoing AFCON Cup is becoming much more interesting. And of course, Francesca Bile is right here with us on Sports Update. Francesca, I'm just wondering, the bait, given to the Mozambicans against Nigeria's Super Eagles tomorrow, do you think it will work?
Well, I feel the Super Eagles would definitely beat the Mozambique because they have been really impressive in their group stage match. So I believe they are going to beat Mozambique.
All right, we keep our fingers crossed.
All right, welcome to Sports Update. Ahead of the Super Eagles round of 16 encounter with Mozambique, head coach Eric Chell and captain Wilfred Ndidi have emphasized that the group stage is now firmly behind the team, with full focus placed on the knockout challenge ahead. Nigeria will be aiming to reach the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 for a record 18th time when the Super Eagles take on Mozambique in Monday night round of 16 fixture at the Complex Sportive Defense.
Well, yeah, like you said, this is the end of the group stage, or another tournament start. We play tomorrow against Mozambique, a good team, and I think the state of mind of the group is good. This evening we have a last training session to prepare this game for tomorrow.
The spirit in the camp is high, and everyone is ready for this game. The group stage is gone, the competition starts now, so everybody's focus is on the next.
Still talking football, host nation Morocco booked a place in the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Tanzania, moving a step closer to a first African title in 50 years. The Atlas Lions initially thought they had taken the lead when Ismail Oseibari headed home a teasing cross from the left, but the goal was ruled out for offside. Morocco eventually broke the deadlock in the 65th minute when Diaz beat Masalanga at the near post, maintaining his impressive scoring record of finding the net in every game for his country. Morocco will now face winners of either South Africa or Cameroon clash, which is currently ongoing in the quarterfinals on Friday. Tanzania, meanwhile, exits the tournament with their heads held highly after progressing beyond the group stage for the first time in the nation's African history. Now, in the English Premier League, Leeds United stretched their unbeaten run to 7 matches after battling to a 1-1 draw against Manchester United on Sunday. Brentford striker Igor Thiago grabbed a superb hat-trick as his side claimed a 4-2 away victory over Everton, a result that lifted Brentford to 7th place and strengthened their bid for a first-ever European qualification. Elsewhere, Newcastle United recorded a 2-0 home win against Crystal Palace, with both goals coming on the second half to move them up to 9th on the table. Fulham, meanwhile, held defending champions Liverpool to a 2-2 draw. Liverpool may remain unbeaten in 9 matches in all competitions and continue to occupy 4th place in the Premier League standings. To boxing, former heavyweight champion Tyson Fury has announced that he will make a return to boxing in 2026. The 37-year-old British star has not fought since his defeat to Alexander Usyk in December 2024, a bout that was contested for 3 of the 4 major world heavyweight titles. Fury confirmed his comeback plans on Sunday via a post on his social media platforms, signaling his intention to step back into the ring in 2026. That's your sports ace. Back to you, Claire.
You know, I find myself always keeping my fingers crossed when Super Eagles are playing. Always nerves, heartache, and, you know, hope all along. Thank you, Francisca.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's check the weather outlook for tomorrow.
Glad to have you join us. The high-pressure systems over the Azores and the Sahara have returned to their normal positions. These pressure systems now favor the return of the Harmattan conditions with dust haze. We are expecting a southward drift of dust currently in suspension over the northern region into the Federal Capital Territory, Niger, and Nasarawa State, resulting in moderate dust haze in these areas. The northern cities will remain largely dry and sunny throughout the forecast period, while the southern part of the country will experience patches of cloud with sunny intervals. There's also a slim chance of scattered thunderstorms over parts of Cross River and Bayelsa State later in the afternoon. Individuals with respiratory or other health sensitivities are advised to minimize prolonged outdoor exposure. We also encourage airline operators to always obtain an updated weather report from NIMET eFlight Folder portal. I am Akami Samarga.
All right, thank you, Akame Samata, for the weather report. And that concludes the news. And I'll just quickly settle down, take some commercial break, and I'll be back for Newsline proper. All right, thank you for joining us on Newsline. Tonight is the first Sunday in 2026. And as the new year arrives, many people are letting go of the past in very quiet ways. Traditions, they say, that once involved symbolic acts of cleansing and disposal are actually giving way to prayers, reflection, and renewed hope, revealing how changing times are reshaping old customs. And Ngozi Okafor will tell us what's new in things now.
In the past, the new year came with unusual rituals in some homes. Broken pots, old clothes, and worn-out kitchenwares were deliberately destroyed or thrown away, a symbolic cleansing believed to cast off hardship, illness, and bad luck from the outgoing year. Today, the practice has largely faded. New Year celebration has now shifted to prayer, vigils, fireworks, and quiet reflection, marking a change in both lifestyle and values. Many say present global economic realities now shape their choices, explaining that it no longer makes sense to destroy items that can still be repaired or reused.
Because how can you burn the things you have at home in name of entering New Year? That is not possible. I call it madness. It's not necessary to do that.
As far as I'm concerned, such thing is not good, and I believe there are people who are seriously in need of such things. If you have things that you don't longer use, instead of burning them or discarding them, give it out to people who will still appreciate you for that.
For the younger generation, the old rituals are seen as folklore rather than obligation. They prefer personal renewal through prayers, goal setting, and self-reflection.
Praying to God for thanksgiving, love, and good health.
Tell God your intention, what you want God to do for you in 2026. Thank Him for previous year that is going by.
Religious teachings and growing environmental awareness have also discouraged practices seen as wasteful or destructive.
So it is not advisable, neither is it encouraged by the church. Otherwise, you take those things to the motherless, to all these centers that needed them, give it out.
There's no in the Bible that was written that we don't old things. What is required of us is your attitude, your New Year resolution.
Cultural observers note that while the desire to let go of a past remains strong, the expression has evolved. As such, this new year was welcomed not through destruction, but through fireworks in the sky, whispered prayers, silent reflection, and hope for better days ahead.
Indeed, hope for better days. Now, worries over fading languages and traditions are very real, but the Tula community in Gombe State is keeping its heritage alive, and that's through their annual cultural festival. Now, the community, known for its historic hills and scenic beauty, hosted the 2025 edition of the festival, celebrating a huge language, colorful traditions, and age-long crowds, while of course drawing our attention to its growing tourism potential. Abatsme Kano was there to bring us a glimpse of that event.
Tula is an historic chiefdom in Kaltungo local government area of Gombe State, about 101 kilometers from the state capital, perched on rocky hills. The current ruler, Dr. Abubakar Buba Atari, was elevated to first-class status in 2011, a recognition of Tula's deep cultural and historical importance. Long before modern boundaries, the Tula people were known as fearless warriors. History records their resistance to the Sokoto Caliphate and their victory over a British expedition led by Captain Kalile in 1908. That success was no accident, as the surrounding mountains, caves, and narrow pathways offered natural protection for their defense and identity. Recently, those hills come alive during Tula's annual cultural festival with colorful dance, music, and tradition that draws indigenous and visitors up the slopes.
The traditions in Tula, from the spiritual fathers, the kingmaker.
Culture
thank you very much.
Is what we eat.
Yes,
it's what you wear.
The Maitula welcomes
what you believe in.
Thank you.
It's every aspect of life.
But the festival raises important questions. How do communities preserve culture while facing limited tourism infrastructure and youth migration?
It reminds us of our childhood. Any person that grew up in Tula knows that this festival is very unique.
I am not Idoma if I don't have a culture. So today we celebrate the culture of the Tula kingdom.
Our target is to groom the young ones so that they will not forget our cultural heritage.
Without this event, even if you meet somewhere, you wouldn't know that it's from Tula.
For Tula people, the festival is a reminder of who they are, a chance to pass values to younger generations, and an opportunity to attract attention to the area's untapped tourism potential.
All right, now at a time when economic hardship is testing our values and trust, an extraordinary act of honesty has emerged from Lapai in Niger State. Now, it involves a 47-year-old Aisha Damo Yilwa, a petty trader who stunned many after returning a large sum of money, which was wrongly credited to her account. And I mean very large sum of money. Here is Musa Mikhail for the details.
What would you do if you suddenly receive a bank alert, 330 million naira credited to your account, knowing the money is not yours? For Aisha Yelwa, a 41-year-old mother of 6 and a petty trader in Lapai, Niger State, the decision was clear. Despite the harsh economic reality and her own financial obligation, Aisha chose the path of honor by returning the money to the bank. She discloses that although she is indebted and struggling financially, her conscience will not allow her to keep what did not belong to her, insisting that no amount of money is worth sacrificing one's dignity.
On Monday, I want to buy things that I will sell on Tuesday. I enter my account. I saw they are working on it. I just leave it. After some time, I went and checked. I can't see the alert that in my life myself. I don't even know whether I will see that type of money again. And I didn't tell anybody. Because as I see the account, the money inside my account, no alert. Say maybe not fake alert. Make I transfer 1 million to my money point. As I transfer, I see the money just go. One remain 329 million. My money way day inside, not even past 200,000.
However, her honesty has reportedly come at a cost. Aisha alleged that she has been receiving threatening messages from an individual following the incident.
I no go chop the money, no be me get am. If I chop her now, this word people go dey help me. If I die now, who go suffer am? Na me. I have credit more than 20 million. But I didn't touch it. Make them give me evidence, say this so amount enter my account and I return it back. Now my problem with bank.
In the bank, as she reached the bank, they couldn't give an evidence that this thing is, the money is returned to her. You know, they're supposed to give her, tell her that so amount has been returned to the bank. But such thing is not there. That is the only annoyance.
Despite the pressure, Aisha remains resolute, maintaining that honesty, truth and self-respect must never be compromised, no matter the situation.
As I come back, everybody, they are blaming me why I return and say nothing concern me. I don't need money. I need peace in my life. I don't get that one, no concern me. No, they pay me.
Her action has drawn widespread commendation, describing her as a powerful reminder that integrity still exists in society.
So what she did was good. And that allowed her to be a good citizen of Nigeria.
First, I may not go to the bank, sincerely speaking, but I will tell my family members, like my dad, and I know my dad will advise me to end up going to the bank. But I won't spend the money because it's not mine.
I'll wait for some time before I return that money, so that if I receive any call, I will know the source of that money before I will return that money.
Aisha's thought stands as a shining example that character is stronger than circumstance.
That's a true Nigerian, and she has the citizen code of integrity and honesty. Now, most communities across Nigeria witnessed the return of their sons and daughters from the diaspora during the Yuletide. Now, for the people of Amiibo, this year's homecoming came with double jubilation, as sons and daughters of the town in diaspora commissioned the Ekuku Amiibo ultra-modern shopping plaza. Informer Nduokole reports that a youth empowerment program was also initiated to create opportunities for young people there.
For years, traders in Amiibo have struggled with limited space and poor facilities, while many youths searched for opportunities. That story is beginning to change with the commissioning of a Ekuku Amiibo shopping plaza alongside the launch of a youth empowerment program, bringing new hope for better livelihoods and jobs. The plaza, built by Amiibo Town Union USA Incorporated, is expected to boost local trade and economic activities within Amiibo and neighboring communities. Commissioning the project, Nzeken Iwala and the chairman of the occasion, Fabian Mbagu, described it as a product of unity and vision praising Amiibo indigenes in the diaspora for investing back home.
So what we have done is to provide a space for us to trade among ourselves and hopefully invite our friends, other towns, to come and trade with us. We've built a world standard, almost the same way we built America. That's what we built here. If you watch this place, it's all inclusive. Okay? It's a place that even if it's raining, you can still do your business. You don't have to worry about rain.
This market will not only boost local businesses and create jobs, but it will also strengthen the social fabric of our town. It will become a meeting point for farmers, artisans, entrepreneurs, and families, a place where our diversity finds common ground.
The traditional ruler of Amiibo, His Royal Highness Eze Nelson Nwosu, says the plaza will deliver lasting economic benefits and strengthen self-reliance in the community.
I'm very, very, very excited and impressed and full of praises for them, how the people have contributed to it.
President of Amiibo Town Union USA Incorporated, Kingsley Mmezi, calls the project a long-term investment in the people, while the newly launched Youth Empowerment Program will provide skills and training to reduce unemployment.
I was thinking on what to do in moving Amiibo forward. And a project that I can take up and it will benefit everybody. We sung about 35 boreholes in Amiibo, but none of them they are not maintained. Telling the people who are sabotaging us to join the trend and tell Amiibo people that we will do our best to move the community forward.
With cultural performances and prayers, the event ended with optimism that the Plaza and Youth Initiative will improve everyday life and economic opportunities for the people of Amiibo.
Well done there. Let's take a first break. Newsline will be back in a moment. That's me smiling, of course. You know you can't beat our age. All right, let's take you to the Ohuabunwa dynasty, which turned 2025 Christmas season to colorful celebration of faith, culture, and togetherness. Family members from across Nigeria and indeed the diaspora gathered for a week-long reunion, from prayers and cultural displays to moments of laughter and reflection. Now that event highlighted the enduring value of family unity across generations. Ngozi Okafor was there and she captured the sights and sounds of the reunion for us here on Newsline.
So, all 10 brothers of the Ohuabunwa family, alongside their only sister, reunited for a week-long family gathering chaired by the Patriarch Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa, MON, and Senator Mao Ohuabunwa. The reunion opened with Christmas carols reflecting themes of faith, gratitude, and love, while the family also reached out to vulnerable members of the community through welfare supports.
Why am I doing this? To remind myself, not just that I'm still Christian. They are still brethren like you. Maybe small, but very significant for us. So it's very important for us that we meet this meeting.
Highlights included the Christmas Day dedication of a church hall by Senator Mao Ohuabunwa in memory of their late mother, Mrs. Nimi Ohuabunwa, cultural performances, and the Atani masquerade by the youths. Wearing branded dynasty t-shirts and caps, Family members engaged in prayers, meetings, and outreach programs across family homes. The reunion climaxed on New Year's Day with a Thanksgiving service and family lunch, reinforcing the Ohabuma family values of unity, service, and shared responsibility.
Now, of course, it was the season of recognition as communities across the country honored outstanding public servants for their contributions to development. This time, the spotlight was on Abdullahi Haliru Bunza, who was turbaned as the Chiroman Bunza at the Bunza District Head Palace in the Gwandu Emirate of Kebbi State. Now, the honor recognizes his contributions to public service and community development. Usman Abdullahi Shehu was there for NTA Newsline.
The Emir of Gondu, Muhammad Ilyasu Bashar, formerly turbaned the district head of Bunza, Dr. Aminu Haliru Bunza, and within 24 hours of his installation, the district head conferred traditional titles on 12 individuals in support of his leadership. Among them is Abdullahi Haliru Bunza, who was turbaned as the new Chiroman Bunza, a highly respected title within the Bunza district of Gondo Emirate, reserved for individuals known for integrity, loyalty, and service to their people. The turbaning ceremony attracted dignitaries drawn by shared appreciation for culture and the value it upholds. Cultural displays and royal blessing added color and meaning to the historic events. The title of Chiroma is seen as a honor and a responsibility, and Abdullahi Haliru Bunza is widely regarded as someone whose life reflects that trust.
My advice to them is simple: continue helping just the way you have been doing before, and make sure that you continue impacting positively on the life of all individuals around you.
It is a well-deserved honor. I pray that the Almighty grant him the wisdom and the strength to use this title to further contribute to the progress and development of this district.
And we pray Allah in His own wisdom will not leave him alone. He will guide him all along, and we wish him success.
Born on April 6, 1973, Abdullahi is a seasoned public servant whose career spans the Kebbi State Ministry of Health and the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, where he currently serves.
Well, alhamdulillah, we thank Almighty Allah for making it possible for us to witness this day. We also thank the Serkim Bunza for finding us worthy to be appointed in this very important position.
Married with children, he is known for his quiet leadership, professionalism, and commitment to public service. As the new Chiroman Bunza, his turbaning is viewed as a renewed call to serve, one that tells younger generations to value integrity, hard work, and meaningful contribution to society.
All right, now let's also bring you another, story that draws inspiration from the Bible, and that's, of course, referencing King Solomon and the grateful leper who returned to give thanks. Now, the senator representing Ogun West, Solomon Adiola, has dedicated his journey in public service to God. The Cathedral Church of Christ on Onlai Laro hosted the New Year Thanksgiving service and end-of-year celebration. Amidst prayers, fellowships, Senator Adiola thanked God for guidance and pledges continued service to his constituents. Lekan Agbonde reports.
The atmosphere was that of gratitude, reflection, and praise as Senator Solomon Olamileko Adiola, joined by family, friends, and supporters, thanked God for a fulfilling year. With songs of praise, worshippers expressed appreciation through hymns and thanksgiving, creating an atmosphere of joy and celebration. In his exhortation, the Diocesan Bishop of Yewa Anglican Communion, Right Reverend Michael Adebayo Oluwarombi, commends the senator for returning to God in gratitude, describing Thanksgiving as a pathway to greater divine blessings.
Gratitude is not optional, it is mandatory, it is a necessity, it is foundational. It is the key that opens the door to divine guidance.
Senator Adiola and his family led the congregation in a joyful walk to the altar for prayers and thanksgiving. His happiness was evident as he thanked God and appreciated those who have supported him over the years, reaffirming his commitment to good governance and service to the people. He also praised the development-focused policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, describing them as a source of hope for national transformation.
At least for once, Nigeria is getting it right. We can predict what kind of economy we are running. The microeconomy are good, and we are working on the macro as well. And I believe in no distant future, Nigeria will feel the impact of all the beautiful reforms that have been introduced by the president.
If you take, for example, how much was a bag of rice this time last year? How much is it this year? 4 years ago, people will be at filling stations on January 2nd, January 3rd, queuing for fuel. Today, there is no queue anywhere in any part of Nigeria.
The large turnout of supporters and well-wishers reflected the senator's impact and contributions within and beyond his constituency.
Beautiful. Now, a multiple wedding that pulled families and well-wishers from Bauchi, Taraba, and Kano was held at Bayero University Central Mosque. Now, guess what? Among the couples who joined in the matrimony was the daughter of the late Professor Ahmad Usman Jalingo and Anas Muhammad. Now, the bride's family was represented by the chief imam of Jalingo, Sheikh Muhyiddin Nuru Muhammad. The report is presented from our studios here.
It was a rare Friday at Bayero University Old Site Central Mosque in Kano, as the solemn atmosphere of Jumu'at prayers gave way to a multiple wedding ceremony that brought together families from Bauchi and Taraba states. Several couples were joined in marriage on the same day, reflecting the Islamic tradition of simplicity and communal celebration. Among the unions was that of late Professor Ahmad Usman Jalingo's daughter, who was given in marriage to Anas Muhammad. In line with Islamic rites, the marriage was solemnized after the groom fulfilled the agreed bride price of 300,000 naira, witnessed by family members, friends, and well-wishers.
Let them be patient to one another. Let them build their life in accordance with the teaching of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
What they are thinking outside is different, but when it comes to marriage, it's totally different. So all of them, they have to be very, very patient and respect each other.
And I know she'll do everything possible to keep her home, and I pray for her to make a very good wife and stay as a good wife to her husband. Sure.
To try and maintain the way you are brought up, the kind of training that you are given by your parents, try and maintain it.
Advice to the newlyweds focus on patience, mutual respect and understanding as the foundation for a successful marriage.
It will be a wonderful journey, inshallah, till death do us apart, and we hope to be reunited in Jannah, inshallah, even after death. So apparently death will never do us apart.
The journey of our school together, we registered and we figured out that she's going to be the best partner for him. And alhamdulillah, after almost 6 to 7 years, they are now happily married as couples.
The multiple wedding stands as a reminder of the strength of community, where faith and family come together to support new beginnings.
All right, I was going to say take a break, but let me just remind you, the best is yet to come. Newsline has just begun. Don't go away. Wait for the next part. Oh yes, we're ready. Now, built on culture, strengthened by family values, traditional marriage remains a very powerful expression of identity and continuity across generations. And these values were on full display at the traditional wedding ceremony of Emmanuel Tinubu and Oluwaseunfumi gave. Emmanuel Tinubu is the son of Dr. Adekunle Tinubu, the chief personal physician to President Bola Tinubu, and a nephew of the president, adding state and national attention to the joyful union. Our correspondent, Emil Dori, was at the ceremony.
The rhythmic sounds from the talking drums, the rich display of colors, music and timeless Yoruba customs and tradition rendered the hair. The wedding ceremony was graced by dignitaries including the Governor of Lagos State, the Inspector General of Police and senators. In line with tradition, the groom Emmanuel and his friends prostrated before the bride's family, a symbol of respect, honor, and readiness to embrace responsibility. For him, this moment is not just ceremonial, it is a pledge to a lifelong commitment. Then came the bride, Oluwaseunfumi, radiant and regal. After all traditional rites were completed, the union was sealed with prayers by both families. Guests and well-wishers offered their best wishes and prayers for a blissful marriage.
Both parents have done their own part. They need to do theirs, and it's by ensuring that they can continue to communicate, they can continue to ensure that they live their life, has been demonstrated by both parents.
We pray that they have patience with each other. We advise them to pray together.
For them to have a prosperous life, as the Lord has instructed for matrimony to be in blessing, in grace, in glory.
Beyond the rites, the celebration was the epitome of the slogan "Eko for Show," with Lagos-style razzmatazz, glamorous outfits, joyous dancing, and a lively atmosphere befitting a modern royal wedding. For their parents, it is a joyful experience of a lifetime.
To be having a wedding for your child is something that a lot of people don't get to experience. And to be in a position to be able to do it and have family and friends come out to join you. My advice for them is to not let anyone get between them. Whatever their issues are, they should sit down and discuss, not come to me or to their mothers or friends. They should be able to sort out themselves. And my prayer for them is that this ceremony that we're doing today will be permanent.
A union that will be an everlasting one. It will be a union that the Lord will bless with children. I pray that the Lord will open doors unimaginable for them. The Spirit of the Lord will continue to direct everything that they do.
Culture wrapped in glamour and sealed with love, Oluwaseunfumi and Emmanuel's wedding is no doubt a Yoruba traditional wedding to remember.
I love weddings. Don't ask me why. Let me take you to Europe, to Asia, Australia, and even South America, where Nigerian footballers are reigning and, of course, standing tall. But what is the situation looking like back home here in Nigeria? Now we all know, of course, that football is a big business, but how is this translating to economic gains and human capital development for Nigeria? In our next report, Daniel Aderiye delves into the talent gap in football in Nigeria and how Nigerian is turning lemons into lemonades as captured in the bold effort to change the narrative surrounding our local leagues. And this report is brought to you courtesy of Solution Journalism Initiative.
You are aware that Nigeria is currently Africa's biggest export as far as football stars are concerned.
And if you doubt me, well, you can check the list. However, the point is not about what is being or who rather is being exported. It's more about those who aren't. And I'm referring to the local leagues. But while it is easy to name and shame and poke fingers, there are those who are making concerted and intentional efforts to see that the narrative around football and sports development in general is not just always in the negative, but rather much more progressive.
It's time for us to talk about the MPFL. Crazy results over the weekend.
Meet Bumi Haruna, a sports journalist whose forte is reporting every and anything local football. But passion, Bumi says, is what drove him to take it even a step further and went on to become a coach. This, he says, was because of a vacuum he saw in proper coaching at the local league level.
What I saw then, what I discovered was that all these players had natural talent, but it was obvious that they lacked coaching. There was also a statistics back then that shows that at that time, Nigeria had less than 600 certified football coaches. And at that point, Egypt, Tunisia had over 6,000, 7,000. So, and look at our population compared to that of Egypt, Tunisia, and the likes of them. So there was a gap. I saw a gap that could be filled.
Going by available statistics, there are at least 1.2 million youths who seek greener pastures abroad in the sporting sector, specifically football. But the availability of coaches per player has proven to be a major challenge, such that many talents go unnoticed or just fade away, blending into other pathways of life, with dreams unfulfilled. Not allowing obstacles to deter his vision, Bumi pushed through the doors and dared to walk into the room, becoming a voice for many young talents in this field of play, with particular focus on the grassroots.
I've also traveled out with players, exposed them to international football. Last year I was in Denmark. This year I was in Portugal. And all these players, some of them getting contracts outside the country and all the likes of it, not just for the football alone, but for the fact that I know that they will be able to cater for their family. If one succeeds, it's probably he will be able to take care of at least 20 or thereabout persons. So this is huge, looking at the impact it will make on our economy.
The move paid off, as Bumi has so far trained and coached over 100 football talents from across the country, with more than 40% of that number playing either locally or thriving internationally. Notable on that list are Super Eagles stars Taiwo Awoni, Kelechi Iheanacho and Akikumia Amo.
Since I've been playing football, I've met a lot of coaches, but I would tell you that Coach Bumi Haruna is non-arguably the best coach that I've met in my career so far, because of how he handles the player to coach relationship.
A coach who lectures you on and off the pitch, how to live your life outside football, what to do outside football. I think he should be called one of the best coaches to me.
He reads opponents, he reads games. If game is not going well in first half, second half, he knows how to make changes and tell you this is how we should approach this game. And when we come back second half, we go the way he wants and how he wants us to do it. The game will go perfectly fine and we win the game.
Bumi says it has not been as easy as ABC, as dribbling through funding and logistics for these young talents remains a major challenge, with no free kick in play. He insists that home-based players must be encouraged just as much as the local leagues to have a wholesome effect and mastery of the round leather game. He also appealed for more participation and active engagement by organized private sector for more impact.
My goal, I must not deceive you, is to see Nigeria win the World Cup.
It is noteworthy to state that out of every 5 football fans in Nigeria currently, there are at least 3 who support foreign-based leagues. But with the likes of Bumi stepping up and polishing diamonds in the rough with this initiative, the future of Nigerian football and footballers can only translate to a rising profile in youth engagement, competence, expertise and progress.
Bumi is just one of several others in the country who have taken it upon themselves to see that it is not just always doom and gloom. Rather, as a people, we can make concerted efforts individually in our little corners to ensure that the very best of development comes back to our leagues, which in the past was probably, if not the best, in the continent.
Daniel Adiriye there, bringing us, of course, solution journalism. All right, now let's talk about masquerades. You know, the parade, they continue to mesmerize us with their vibrant costumes, drumming and dance. But alongside, of course, the celebrations, concerns over public safety, rowdiness, and occasional excesses have sparked debate. Now, these age-old traditions carry very deep cultural significance, which symbolizes identity, heritage, communal unity. In the next report, Joy Ilebu examines the good, the bad, and the ugly sides of masquerade displays. She also explores how they can be safely celebrated while also preserving our cultural essence.
In many communities across Nigeria, masquerades are seen as symbols of tradition, believed to represent ancestral spirits and used to uphold community values. Over time, masquerade parades have become a major feature of cultural ceremonies, drawing large crowds with their vibrant costumes and symbolic movements. However, concerns are growing over some practices linked to these parades, including harassment, violence, and the blocking of public spaces, raising concerns about public safety.
Well, if you over-modernize, it will lose its purpose, its nature. Maybe people misunderstand or misconceive the idea of the masquerade society. Yeah, it's a way of celebrating our own culture.
We have other masquerade that, use it to just for playing, but there, where you go, you see masquerade that is very deadly. The one that you see, they tell you that women don't see this one.
Professor Chukuma Soludo administration gave a guide to masquerading, that no masquerade will engage in abusing anybody. You come, perform, and get enjoyed. 2025 Christmas celebrations, we've not received any case of masquerade abusing or creating chaos anywhere.
While many believe well-organized displays can promote tourism and support local businesses, residents say preserving culture must go hand in hand with responsibility.
Anambra State has over 2,000 masquerades. And of course, it's part of our culture. In the onward December schedule, we added masquerade festivals, and that includes festivals being organized by individuals, communities, and groups.
Masquerade is a unique something we need to entertain our visitors.
As they enter here, you see that sense of joy and everything. You understand? It depends on the intention of the person that is doing it. It's a natural thing that our people have been doing, and it has been giving us joy, and it will be sustained.
For communities in Anambra, the task remains balancing tradition with order and community regulations to protect the true spirits of Igbo culture.
Thank you. All right, this is the break before the big one. Now, they once worked behind the cameras and microphones, shaping the voices, images, and stories that defined a generation of viewers across northern Nigeria. Now, years after signing off their final broadcast, veteran staff of NTA Kaduna are back this time not to produce news or programs, but to reconnect with memories that still live in the hearts of millions of people. Now, in the familiar environment where long hours, creative pressure, and shared purpose once bounded them, the retirees reflect on a golden era of broadcasting when stories were crafted with passion, teamwork, and a very strong sense of public service. Mohammed Umaru Arjengi was there to capture it all for Newsline.
NTA Kaduna, one of NTA's oldest broadcast stations, where stories have been told for decades through drama and programs carrying messages to the public. Men and women who served here in the 70s and 80s, reporters, producers, presenters, and camera operators gathered once again for a reunion opening conversations on how to reposition NTA for the future.
This is why my history all started. And the men and women behind me are, of course, are responsible for my being in NTA and the little contribution that one is making.
NTA is our bread and butter, and it is true. It is our bread and butter because it is from where we all grew up, we worked, and we are still enjoying the benefits of NTA.
You must learn the job. And how do you do that? Is by training.
So we as producers, if we are not current, if we are not familiar with the technologies, even making a program will be difficult.
Whatever is happening on NT right now on my handset.
We are still growing stronger.
It was a nostalgic moment as they came face to face with some of the equipment they once worked with. This is the historic NTA Kaduna Museum, a place that preserves and keeps materials that NTA Kaduna used in the 70s and 80s. Ibrahim Buba, a former staff of NTA Kaduna who began his career as a production officer, demonstrated how some of this equipment were handled in those early years.
Make sure the shots are friendly. Look at it from here.
In our own days, picture to picture, you have to think about how you can, transit from one end to the other or from one video to the other. Today, your computer does all those things for you.
It was a meeting that afforded us to reconnect and to also discuss professional issues and the way forward for NTA Kaduna and NTA in general.
2030 is something else, so you can see. And then coming to meet some of the people you started the station with. And you can't quantify that kind of experience.
After discussions on strengthening the organization and a tour of the museum to relive the past, the veterans later reunited at a dinner here. Earlier, a novelty football match was played between the New Age Network and the NTA Kaduna team. The match continued amid cheers and admiration from the veteran staff.
Very good. Joshua, try your luck.
I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't want to get into trouble. But let's quickly take you through some of the stories that you watched last year that brought tears, laughter, and reawaken your conscience. I'm talking about 2025. And of course, that will be followed by a performance by our newsliners. Watch out.
She's taking milk and I'm breastfeeding her. So after each hour, I feed her. Once you see her crying, it's food she needs.
We succeeded in arresting the suspect named Machiku of Kamba, the Nasara area of Kamba.
That water come on force, which nobody will fit into and go and carry the child.
Before I knew it, people were shouting, and around there, I saw my daughter on top of the rock.
The parents said, okay, come down from the upstone. She in process of coming down. She reached one corner where the water was covering in a particular height.
I was called that Awal has removed my daughter's eyes. I reported the case to the police and they refer us to the hospital.
Both eyes had actually been enucleated. The child has lost both eyes completely.
It is my aunt that burns me, saying I am a witch, but I was taken to 3 different places and they said I am not a witch.
She's responded to treatment so far and I can see there's a great improvement on her.
Yes, and she's doing all her medications are all available, and it is being served accordingly. Honestly, the degree is much. Her genital aspect of this thing was actually affected.
I received a call from Canada and said, we saw you on television now. I was just like, which television is that? I forgot that I came to NTA. So they showed the thing on the Newsline. So the following day, I received a call from Abuja, and the woman spoke with me that there are some people who want to do help on it. And we gave them the bill. And they have fulfilled the pay, they have paid the hospital, they have paid for everything.
Now, Mubarak don't be okay. And then if you see the camera, you will see the Mubarak eyes say he'll be okay now.
At first, when we asked her who impregnated her, she said it was food that made her tummy big. But later, she told us that a man took off all her clothes and forced himself on her.
I start to communicate with her, and she start telling me, the man, when he carry her, he start raping her.
Ask one of the nurses that come to fix drip on me. I said, where is my second twins baby? He said, madam, I don't want to tell you this because doctor said they should not tell you anything. I say, why? If they tell me now, I may tell the doctor, it's okay. Doctor say, the baby is dead. After 6 months, I gave birth. I take my baby to hospital for immunization. That is when I saw Dr. Wife coming with those 2 children. One exactly my child. I said, Abi, I don't know what I'm doing. I was totally confused on that day. So I be able to convince her to give me that child, that I'm their family friend. It's okay, she don't know me. I say, but your husband know me, is my doctor. I be able to convince her to remove the cap of the child. Exactly my baby, no different. When I reach home, I called my husband that I've saw my baby. He said, where? I said, it's in doctor's hand.
Good evening and welcome to Newsline.
On screen, it looks effortless, the perfect anchor, the seamless newscast. But behind every story, there is a team working tirelessly to make it happen. From the news producer, supervisors, reporters, cameramen, film editors, sound engineers, graphics team, they're all here every day, every hour, ensuring you get the latest updates. Holidays don't stop them. Christmas, New Year, Eid, they are all on duty, keeping you informed, educated, and entertained. For the Newsline team, every late night, every early morning, every sacrifice is all for you, our valued viewer. From all of us on NTA Newsline, thank you for letting us be a part of your Sunday nights. We wish you a happy and prosperous New Year. Thank you for trusting us to bring the story to life.
Did you see me? No. Well, just like music, Newsline is indeed a harmony of teamwork, of people you see and many you really do not see. But tonight, I'll open the curtains to show you a little of the shoulders beneath our own stride. So we'll be having some of them working. Amina working. Amina coming. That's Amina. Amina is on quality. That's Mansour. Mansour is also on quality. You hear, of course, that's Momso Damien Dete. And you see the cameraman. They said, say hi. Sunny say hi. Annie Daniels. Of course, it's Annie Daniels. And we have the producer, the mama producer. Where is she? Mama producer. Where is he? We have the big boss. The big boss is coming. Where is the big boss? That's the DDN Muhammad Ali. Of course, you will get to see the directors. Can we see the directors? Yes, that's Hadi. That's Jacob. You see the Jacob? That's Precious. We see, of course, the lady in the prompter. Where is Victoria? Madam Victoria, we can't see. And there are so many people you can't also see. The big bosses, but they are the quiet glue holding all of this together. So from all of us, we say, good night, everyone.